Hello everyone and welcome to Delicious Cooking. Today we have one of my all-time favorite dishes, sausage and mashies. This is a pretty simple recipe as there aren't that many ingredients, but by using some easy techniques we can generate a ton of flavor. First we start by peeling potatoes, then chopping up the peppers and the onions. Unfortunately we ran out of garlic this particular evening, so that was kind of a bummer. But you can use granulated garlic if that's all you have at the time. For the peppers, simply cutting them into strips is usually best for both texture and presentation. For the onions, we're not too worried about how they're cut, just that they make it in. A really nice method for preparing sausage is simply to take it out of the casing. Again, this will help immensely with texture as sometimes sausage can come out a little rubbery. Now we can get the chopped potatoes into the boiling water along with some salt, a little bit of oil, and maybe a tablespoon of vinegar. The last few things here are added to help with the cooking process as opposed to flavor profiles. While the potatoes are cooking, we can now focus on the sausage. Get a little oil down in the pan, let it heat up a bit, then go ahead and add it to the pan. You really want to get a nice sear on the sausage, as this is one of the best ways to not only cook out a good amount of the fat, but also to improve the overall texture. Cooking it well will give us the flavor and the consistency we're really looking for. When it's nice and browned, we can add the peppers, onions, and garlic if you have it. It may seem like a lot at first, but once everything is cooked down, it settles nicely into the pan. I'm not a huge fan of pots like these as they can get scratched so easily, but for a dish like this, it really makes everything so much easier. You can see how beautifully this all cooked down. The peppers and the onions came out perfectly. They're translucent, but still with a little bit of texture so they don't turn out too mushy. The potatoes can now be drained, and we can get to my favorite part, making the mashies. I prefer to use butter, cream cheese, and sour cream as you really get the best of both worlds. The cream cheese came from a recipe my grandma used to make, which was absolutely delicious. I also like to mash them by hand, as again, this gives you a better control over the final consistency of the potatoes. While mashing, add in a few splashes at a time until it's just right. And then, of course, lots of black pepper. When everything is finished cooking, we can move to plating. I like these black plates as they look kind of fancy. Get a nice scoop action going. Another scoop. Get a little bit on the side there. That's okay. And another scoop. Another. Maybe not. Just a little bit more. Pat the potatoes down a little bit so they can come in with the sausage, peppers, and onions. Just scoop those over the top of the mashies. All the scrumptious flavors will mix with the mashies. So good! little dash of salt, and then, of course, more black pepper. And finally, we can go in for a bite. Get everything in on a bite. Delicious.